because I am Peter Bird, Executive General Manager of Business Development. My apologies for not physically attending, but I have a family issue that I'm dealing with, unfortunately, so I can't be there, and I'm sure it'll be a great conference. So let's quickly get into the Rex Minerals story, ASX listed Rex. There's the customary disclaimer. So what are we about? Rex is an incredible development opportunity in the copper space. We have 100% ownership of our flagship Hillside Project located in South Australia, a Tier 1 jurisdiction. It's one of the largest undeveloped copper projects in Australia with 1.9 million tonnes of copper, 1.5 million ounces of gold in resource. We released an optimised feasibility study and definition phase engineering on the 14th of December last year, 2022, and the project has a valuation of just in excess pre-tax of 1.2 billion Aussie. And following in from strong inbound interest, Rex has appointed Macquarie Capital to assist in managing a minority partnering process for Hillside, and I'll get into that a bit in a minute. We're regarded as a micro-cap, a capitalisation of about 160 million Australian dollars, which converts to a price to NAV of about 0.19 times based on the net present value of the project. And we hope by the middle of this calendar year to be at a final investment decision. In addition, within our portfolio, we have the Hog Ranch gold project in Nevada. It's rapidly growing as we speak, 2.2 million ounces of gold, and I'll come to that just at the end of the presentation. So let's move through things fairly quickly. I just wanted to point out where we sit. So on this slide 4, you can see that the Hillside Project is regarded by Goldman Sachs as one of the top 50 projects that are set to form greater than 60% of new copper supply in the next 5 years. So this is not an insignificant asset, and that's based on the fact that the incentive price for new developments will be around $9,000 per tonne, or just a little bit over $4 per pound. So just reminding you, it's a project of scale, copper, strong leverage to the greening and electrification process that we're all experiencing. And this project also has significant exploration upside. So quickly, just touching on the valuation metrics, which are throughout the presentation, but pre-tax valuation 1.2 billion Aussie, internal rate of return nominally of about 23% based on a $1.5 per pound C1 cost and a 4.3 year payback. And that is only on the first 11 years of this project. It has a life that looks like it'll be in excess of 20 and perhaps 30. And first production will be, we're looking at Q4 calendar 25 with a production rate of about 42,000 tonnes of copper and 30,000 ounces of gold in concentrate. Moving quickly to the team, this team has done it before. The board and management team have been involved in a number of successful mining developments around the world and domestically within Australia. So similar scale projects with similar opportunities. This will be a very big employer within the state of South Australia, within Australia. I can't stress enough, we're already fully approved with all the key approvals in place, and pre-development activities have commenced, and you can see that on our website platform. So next steps is to secure investors and partners, build out the owners team and secure the long lead time items as defined in the study. And we will talk about that a bit more later on. Just where does this is just a bit more detail on the valuation of the project, but as you can see in the second column there, they're the key metrics. We used a 392 per pound copper price and to generate that net present value of $1.2 billion Australian. On the very right-hand side, you can see the Goldman Sachs demand case or upside case. So you can see it's very positively sensitive to an increase in that copper price, all within little old Rex, capitalised about 160 million. Within the Australian context, the project currently ranks number 3 in size based on copper ore reserves. The big one, of course, is Olympic Dam, owned by BHP. That's followed by Carrapateena within Oz Minerals, North Parkes, and then Prominent Hill. But I would draw your attention to the fact that Oz Minerals has now been effectively taken over, or in the process of being taken over, by BHP. So as an independent copper project, we sit really as number 2 on the list within the Australian context, so not insignificant at all. The resource, what we're looking at here on this slide 10 is a long section of the resource looking to the west down to sort of about 450 vertical metres. You can see the dotted line of the pit shell. But I think just to leave you a couple of messages here. First of all, 1.9 million tonnes of copper and remains unconstrained. So you can see the drill intersections that sit outside the pit shell, and that would suggest that as time goes on, we can build upon the over 800 holes that have been drilled and add to this. But at the minute, we've got a very long life project. Just another way of looking at it, we've designed the mining of a 2.3 kilometre long pit in a series of stages. So this valuation that I've been talking about in this presentation focuses only on stage 1. So that sort of pinky area in the centre of the pit shell, which contains 507,000 tonnes of copper and 436,000 ounces of gold. So clearly the story is not over. We've got plenty to go. So as a result of such a large resource, you can see that only 50% of ore reserves are depleted in stage 1. So from a risk management perspective, this is very low risk. Conventional technology in the process flow sheet, this has been used in many projects before. I'll just draw your attention to 2 things. The gyratory crusher is a 15 million tonne per annum crusher, and we're only going to put a throughput of about 8 million tonnes, so plenty of capacity there. And we produce a very clean copper gold concentrate, which is clearly relatively saleable, or very saleable and very desirable. From an ESG point of view, we feel it ticks all the boxes environmentally, socially, and from a government and community point of view. Over 70% of South Australia's electricity grid, which we will draw upon, is renewable, already moving to 100% by 2030. If you remember one thing, remember this slide in the presentation. This is our Gantt chart and timeline. We're in project funding stage now, as you can see at the top left, and we are aiming to produce first concentrate subject to funding by Q4 calendar 25. So from a funding perspective, the minority partner process is well underway with the help of Macquarie Capital. In parallel, the debt process is well underway, and we're probably targeting funding of approximately 50% of the project. So that's working well. So what you need to look out for in the next little while is we will continue to expand upon the operational readiness team, ramp up pre-development activities, secure those long lead time items, get stage 1 executed, and of course secure that strategic partner with a final investment decision by mid-calendar year this year. Just closing off very quickly in the limited amount of time I have left, just draw your attention also to Hog Ranch, the gold project in Nevada. This has gone from 0 to 2.2 million ounces in resource since August 2019, when the company got involved. And I suspect, given that it's a large-scale caldera complex, it will grow from this point on. But I think all I would say is just watch this space. It's also an exciting, it's also a very exciting asset, and which probably leads me to the last slide, slide 21, to make these concluding remarks. Rex is a small company, but it is unique because it has two very large two very large assets in tier 1 jurisdictions. We've talked a lot today about Hillside. It's in development mode. It's copper gold. It's fully permitted, and we're moving through the funding process now. And it's supplemented by Hog Ranch in Nevada, also a tier 1 jurisdiction, 2.2 million ounces in resource, a discovery cost of only 70 cents per ounce US. And clearly Nevada is a premier North American location. So whilst I can't physically be there on this occasion, I'd urge you to have a look at the Rex story. It's very exciting, and watch this space. I think we're aiming to be Australia's next copper producer in a very short space of time. Thank you very much.